OLORATO Mongale was a beacon of radiant hope, a young woman whose journey was only just beginning to unfold its immense potential. She dedicated herself to her studies, emerging as a proud Rhodes journalism graduate, a testament to her intellect and drive. Not resting on her laurels, she was courageously furthering her knowledge at the prestigious Wits University. To her adoring family, she was more than just a daughter or sister. They lovingly called her their rainbow baby, a special child bringing joy and color into their lives. She was profoundly loved, a vibrant and irreplaceable presence, and at only 30 years old, her future was meant to be filled with countless achievements and happiness. In her chosen career of journalism, OLORATO shone with an unmistakable brilliance, quickly establishing herself as a force to be reckoned with. She was a remarkably dedicated journalist, pouring her heart and soul into every story she pursued. Her reporting was consistently impactful, not merely conveying facts, but touching lives and prompting thoughtful reflection. Beyond her reporting, she was a passionate advocate, using her platform to give voice to the voiceless and champion important causes. People from all walks of life respected her immensely, not just for her exceptional work, but for her unwavering integrity and compassionate spirit. She was actively striving to make a tangible, positive difference in the world around her. Then, in the bleak month of May 2025, an impenetrable darkness descended, shattering the light OLORATO carried. She inexplicably went missing, her sudden absence sending ripples of fear and anxiety through her community. Her last known moments, as investigations would later reveal, were spent in the company of a man she had only recently met. Their initial encounter took place at a bustling mall, an ordinary place where no one expects to meet their predator. She trusted him, agreeing to go on what she believed was a simple date. This trust, so innocently given, was about to be met with the most heinous betrayal imaginable. The desperate hope for OLORATO's safe return tragically dissolved into an unimaginable nightmare. Evidence painstakingly gathered showed she was cruelly lured from her residential complex in Sandton, Johannesburg. Her abductors then drove her, against her will, on a terrifying journey through Alexandra and Kew. Their sinister path eventually led them to Lombardy West, a quiet suburb that would become witness to a monstrous crime. It was there, on a desolate roadside, that her precious life was brutally and senselessly cut short. Her body was discovered on Sunday, May 25, 2025, a discovery that sent shockwaves of grief not only through the local community, but across the entire nation. The unspeakable act that stole OLORATO Mongale from this world was no random act of senseless violence. It bore all the chilling hallmarks of a premeditated crime executed with cold, calculated precision. As the police delved deeper into the darkness, they swiftly identified three suspects. Philangenkosi Spongokule Makanya was singled out as the main architect. He was allegedly aided by Bongani Mthimkhulu and Fazila Ngubani. Authorities believe these individuals were part of a larger, more sinister mall-based syndicate, a criminal enterprise that preyed specifically on unsuspecting women. The vehicle used in her abduction, a white VW Polo, even bore fake registration plates, further underscoring the planned nature of this evil. For OLORATO's family, her mother, in a voice trembling with grief, described OLORATO as the light of our lives, a daughter whose kindness and ambition inspired everyone she met. The news of her murder plunged them into unimaginable pain and despair. Their rainbow baby, their source of immense joy, was extinguished forever, her vibrant light stolen by an act of pure evil. In a public statement, her mother pleaded, "No parent should ever have to bury their child. My heart is broken, but I want justice for OLORATO and for all the daughters of South Africa." The shockwaves of her brutal killing ripped through the very core of their beings, leaving behind devastation and unending grief. To lose a child, a beloved sister, a cherished friend in such a violent and terrifying manner inflicts a wound so profound that it may never fully heal. Through tears, her mother said, "OLORATO dreamed of changing the world. Now I dream only of holding her again. Our family will never be the same." In their public statements, their voices, though choked with sorrow, spoke of a deep, aching loss, a void that can never truly be filled. Their world, once bright with her presence, was irrevocably altered in an instant of calculated cruelty. The South African Police Service immediately launched an intensive investigation, their officers working relentlessly around the clock. Investigators began piecing together the horrifying puzzle of OLORATO's final days. OLORATO's mother expressed gratitude for the investigators' efforts, saying, "I thank the police for not giving up. My hope is that every person responsible is brought to justice." A crucial breakthrough came when they managed to trace the white VW Polo. This vital clue led them to a panel beater shop in Phoenix, Durban. Significantly, this business was owned by the father of the main suspect. Each uncovered clue, each piece of evidence became a stepping stone in the relentless pursuit of justice, offering a small, flickering light of hope in the overwhelming darkness of grief. Philangen Kosi Makanya, the primary suspect, desperately attempted to evade the law. After OLORATO's murder, he fled Johannesburg seeking refuge in the coastal city of Durban. He concealed himself in a residential complex in Amanzimtoti, hoping to disappear into anonymity. However, his past was already stained with criminal activity. Disturbingly, Makanya and his accomplice Bongani Mthimkhulu were already out on bail. This bail had been granted in April 2025 for armed robbery and kidnapping of another woman in Brakpan. This revelation raises serious questions about the judicial system's ability to protect citizens from repeat violent offenders. The determined efforts of the police eventually led them to Makanya's hiding place. In the pre-dawn stillness of Friday, May 30, 2025, law enforcement officers confronted him at the residential complex in Amanzimtoti. Faced with imminent capture, Makanya chose violence over surrender. He opened fire on the assembled officers, initiating a dangerous shootout. The police were forced to return fire, and in the ensuing exchange, Makanya was fatally shot. For some, his death represented a form of swift, if brutal, justice. A subsequent search of his hideout uncovered a disturbing cache of evidence: 20 cell phones and 28 ID cards, the majority belonging to women, strongly suggesting his involvement in a far wider network of criminal activities and a larger number of victims. While the main suspect, Philangen Kosi Makanya, met his end, the pursuit of complete justice for OLORATO Mongale is far from over. Two other individuals implicated in her murder, Bongani Mthimkhulu and Fazile Ngubane, remain at large, fugitives from the law. The police have assured the public that they are actively and relentlessly searching for these remaining suspects. The hunt continues with unwavering determination. In a related development, a car guard from Makanya's neighborhood had initially surrendered to police, as numerous SIM cards used by Makanya were found to be registered in his name. However, after thorough investigation, police cleared and released him, determining he was a soft target whose identity had been unscrupulously exploited by Makanya for his nefarious criminal schemes. News of Makanya's death reached OLORATO's grieving family, bringing with it a complex wave of emotions. They acknowledged that his demise offered a certain degree of closure, a sense that one of those responsible for their immeasurable suffering would face no further earthly judgment. However, this small measure of resolution did little to diminish the raw and overwhelming pain of their profound loss. The family publicly expressed their sincere gratitude for the unwavering dedication and tireless efforts of the police force. They conveyed their satisfaction with the significant progress made in the investigation thus far. Yet, their quest for full justice for OLORATO continues unabated, as they prepare for her funeral with hearts heavy with an unquenchable sorrow. OLORATO Mongale's senseless murder did not just devastate her family, it sent powerful shockwaves of anger and disbelief across the entire expanse of South Africa. The nation, already weary from an epidemic of violence, found itself outraged once more. Her tragic story has starkly and painfully reignited the national conversation about the pervasive crisis of gender-based violence that plagues our society. OLORATO's fate serves as a chilling and deeply personal reminder of the daily dangers that women confront in our country, often in places where they should feel safest. The sheer pervasiveness of gender-based violence is undeniable, a stain on our collective conscience. People are justifiably angry. They are exhausted by the relentless cycle of violence and demand immediate, concrete action to ensure the safety and dignity of all women. The brutal murder of OLORATO Mongale is far more than an isolated tragedy affecting one family. It is a stark symptom of a much larger, deeply entrenched societal illness. Her death painfully underscores the ongoing and devastating crisis of gender-based violence that continues to ravage South Africa. Furthermore, it shines a harsh spotlight on the terrifying and increasingly common trend of women being abducted, their lives treated as disposable. The alleged involvement of an organized syndicate in OLORATO's case reveals the calculated and systemic nature of these heinous crimes. These are not merely random acts of cruelty, but part of a disturbing pattern of predatory behavior that targets the vulnerable, tearing apart families and shredding the fabric of our communities. We must confront this wider, chilling picture. In the wake of this tragedy, government officials and police leadership have spoken out with strong condemnation and promises of action. The Minister of Police, Senzo Machunu, publicly vowed that authorities would leave no stone unturned in their efforts to find the remaining suspects involved in OLORATO's murder. "We want them dead or alive," he declared, a statement reflecting the gravity of the situation and the nation's demand for accountability. He also issued a direct public appeal, urging the fugitives to surrender themselves to the authorities. The police force, particularly the team led by Lieutenant General Mkwanazi, has earned widespread commendation for the swift and significant breakthroughs achieved in the investigation. These words and the initial actions are vital, but they must be unequivocally backed by sustained long-term efforts and genuine systemic change. A passionate and unified call for justice now echoes with renewed intensity across the land. Justice for OLORATO, and by extension, justice for every single victim of gender-based violence. Her name, OLORATO Mongale, has tragically become a powerful rallying point, a symbol of innocence lost, and a demand for a safer future. In a poignant tribute, the Free State government has commendably launched a gender-based violence awareness campaign in OLORATO's honor, seeking to turn grief into constructive action. This is an important step, but the cries for change demand more. We must unequivocally end the scourge of violence against women. We demand substantially improved protection for all women and children. We demand far stronger, decisive action against perpetrators, and critically, more effective, responsive, and empathetic law enforcement strategies. OLORATO Mongale's vibrant life, though so cruelly and prematurely extinguished, imparts vital and urgent lessons to us all. Her story, steeped in tragedy, serves as an undeniable and pressing call to action for every member of our society. We are collectively obligated to transform our society at its very roots, to actively create environments where women and girls are protected, valued, and safe in their homes, within their communities, and in all public spaces. OLORATO's luminous spirit, her unwavering dedication to truth as a journalist, and her compassionate heart should inspire us. They must inspire us to build a nation and indeed a world where women are not targets, where they can live their lives fully, freely, and without the pervasive shadow of fear. This is our profound collective duty. This is the enduring change that OLORATO's memory so powerfully demands and richly deserves.